Dizon from Humss 4, and I'm going to make a book review in 21st century literature. So we're going to talk about first the genres of the story or the book that I have picked. So the genres are fantasy, adventure, Greek mythology, and young adult. Fantasy because there was mythical creatures, magic involved. Adventure because the main character went on an adventure with his friends and able for him to save his mom. And then Greek mythology because it is already based on Greek mythology. And then young adult because the target audience of the story is of course the young adults. So let's start of the summary. So the story that I have picked is Percy Jackson the Lightning Thief because it is my favorite book since I was a child. So I'm going to give you a short summary about the story. So it was all started in, of course, the main character, Percy Jackson. He is 12 years old and he decides to tell us a story of his past year. On the first day of summer, just after his 6th grade year, Percy discovers that something is wrong with him. Or rather, something is right with him. He learns that he is half-blood, a half-human and half-god. He is taken to Camp Half-Blood in New York, a camp for kids just like him that is safe from monsters that is most likely likes to attack half-bloods. So, Percy sets out on a quest to retrieve Zeus' Master Bolt, which is believed to be Hades' captivity in Underworld. Helping Percy are Grover, his BFF, and Annabeth, a smart demi-goddess and a daughter of Athena. The three take a bus, a train, a truck, and taxicab to make their way across America. From New York to Los Angeles, where the gates of the underworld are located, they stop in St. Louis, Denver, and Las Vegas along the way. During their quest, they battle vicious monsters like Medusa. They find disaster on the observation deck of the Gateway Ark. They are tricked by the gods of war. They nearly lose their memories in an enchanted Vegas casino, and they are almost stretched to death. And after escaping Hades' wrath, Percy, Annabeth, and Grover encounter Ares, the god of war, on the Santa Monica beach. So Percy questions Ares and discovers that Ares stole the Master Bolt and Helm of Darkness from the original thief, whose name we don't know yet. So Ares has been tempted by the possibility of sparking one of the biggest wars of all time between the big three, Hades, Zeus, and Poseidon, which is Percy's father, Poseidon. And Percy and Ares battle it out on the beach, and Percy wants Ares, winning the Helm of Darkness. Ares curses Percy. So that summer at Camp Half-Blood, Percy has a great time living the life of a hero. He procrastinates making a decision about whether he will stay at Camp Half-Blood year-round or whether he will go home and live with his mom in the Queens. So, on the last day of camp, Percy is lured into the woods by his friend Luke. Luke confesses to Percy that he was the original thief of the Master Bolt and the Helm of Darkness. He tells Percy that he serves Kronos and the Kronos is planning to defeat the Olympians and get rid of them. Luke vanishes, leaving a deadly scorpion to sting Percy. Percy nearly dies from this scorpion bite, but is rescued by wood nymphs who take him to safety. Percy's teacher, Chiron, nurses him back to health. Percy decides to go home and live with his mother for his 7th grade year. So, the genre fiction, also known as a popular fiction, is a term used in the book trade for fictional works written with the intent of fitting into a specifically literary genre, in order to appeal to readers and fans already familiar with that genre. So, my favorite part was, of course, the climax, wherein Percy and his friends already battled several monsters and Percy nearly dies. It is very intense, like, oh, please don't die, like that. So yeah. And then the next thing that we're going to talk about is the reviews of the other people about the story that I have chose. So yeah. So here's a comment from Lady B. that was posted on July 21, 2010 at exactly 6:30 p.m. So she said that I was inspired to read this series after seeing the movie. I quite like the books, by contrast, yes. And it's pretty prevalent, but there was enough originality there to make the story enjoyable on its own. And some of the modern world meets ancient myth notions were quite clever. The Lotus Casino in Vegas was rather brilliant, I thought. You'll also be interested to know that the writing improves substantially in the sequels, in my opinion. And here's also the review from Amber, who says that I would like to comment on the book, The Lightning Thief. I like how there is Greek mythology in it. I wasn't really into Greek mythology until I read the book. I think the book is a lot better than the movie. I like the part when Percy is in Camp Half-Blood and he's playing Capture the Flag. I like when he got power from the water. I thought it was very action-packed novel. And here's also a review from Aphrodite, who says that this is definitely one of my most favorite books. Same with the movie. It has an amazing twist and is also very entertaining. Once you start reading, you can't stop, which is true because, oh my gosh, that already happened to me once. So yeah. So if I were to be inserted in some literary approaches, I think it would be reader response because it is more focusing on the reader than the story itself. Because many readers are like imagining already the thoughts that is being described on the book, and that's why I may thought that this could be a reader response. So if you're going to ask me what book to recommend, I highly recommend The Lightning Thief because it is my favorite, first of all. And then second thing is it is suitable for our age, especially to young adults. And it is also suitable for kids because it is fantasy and there are no parental guidance involved. I highly recommend Lightning Thief to young adults out there. I am highly recommending this book because it is very cool, like you know what I mean already. So yeah. So if you're going to ask me to define 21st century literature, it is written during the 20s up to the present. And it is also referred to world literature produced during the 21st century. The range of years is for the purpose of this article. Literature written from roughly the year 2001 up to the present. So it is a bit too early to give a definite and elaborate description of the 21st century literature in the Philippines and the world. It helps develop students' critical thinking skills in the quest for the ubiquitous 21st century competencies. It helps students gain a better understanding of the societies which produce the literature to foster greater empathy for others. So I am going to give you some characteristics in 21st century literature. So first of all, they demonstrate independence, they value evidence, they comprehend as well as critic, and they respond to varying demands of audience, task, purpose, and discipline. And lastly, they build stronger content knowledge. So what I've learned in 21st century literature is, of course, the cool stories, the cool poems, the different kinds of approaches, which is very similar and is very applicable to all stories. So I learned that every story has its own meanings, of course, and different kinds of genres that made them more interesting. And if I were you, you should be learning 21st century literature as well, because I double swear that you will learn more about 21st century literature, and I am also promising you that it will be all worth it, like all the stress, all the things that you don't understand, you will realize that it is very useful and meaningful and also applicable, especially to us readers. And that will be all. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you learned a lot from me, and thank you for giving time. Bye.